Hey everyone, this is kind of just going to be a little kind of quick and dirty of how to sweat proof your Quest Pro, done wonderfully on the floor of my room. A couple things you're going to need for sure is you're going to want a Phillips 00 screwdriver. You are going to need some transparent silicone, maybe a magnifying glass if you just want to check to make sure after you've opened it up to see if it's corroded at all. And you're going to need some plastic pry tools, specifically plastic. That's very good. All right, so first things first. I've already taken the liberty of taking off the pads on the front and back right here. Usually they kind of get a bit iffy when you're trying to take them off, but it's all right. All right. And then the next thing, we are going to grab our screwdriver. I just got this random Amazon kit. It's been fine. It ain't pretty, but it does what we need. So we're going to start off with these two. There's two screws right here, and here on the left and right of the main dial. I kind of undo it a bit, and then to give myself a little bit more space while I'm working. And these are reciprocating screws. So what's going to happen is that we're going to be unscrewing these for quite a while, and they're not going to want to feel like they're going to come out, and that's okay, because these do not come out. But just kind of make sure you get that right angle, and then you kind of just go for a while. But yeah, hopefully the lighting isn't too wonky. You really have to go at it for a while. And when it's ready, it'll kind of just like pry off a bit like that. You sort of see right here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And if this screw is slipping a lot, you're probably running the wrong size screwdriver. You could try going a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger. We definitely don't want to strip this screw. It's going to be very annoying if you do. Oh, looks like I popped out of there. There we go. I don't know how well this headlamp's going to be doing for giving you guys a better view, but we will see later. Oh, there you go. And once it's free, this part's going to just kind of freeload as it kind of just cycles through. Then you have this, which is going to be nice and loose. There we go. Now, next part here, if I move this a little bit forward and up, be a little bit gentle with it because it's kind of just like attached right through up here, so don't bend it too hard, but we can just move it out of the way a little bit. All right, so there's going to be 5 screws we're going to take off on the back of this battery pack right here. We're going to have 1 in the middle, and we're going to have 2 on each on the left and right side. One of them right here is going to have a tamper-proof sticker. You can get some tweezers handy if you're trying to like sort of keep it, or you can just be lazy. I just grabbed this fucking flosser thingamajiggy. I'm just going to scratch it off. Just get through it so I can get to the screw. And one thing to note for here is that all the screws are the exact same size and they're all magnetic, so feel free to just throw all the screws in one big pile. There's going to be one screw later on that's slightly different, but I'll let you know when we get to that. There you go. Keep getting my angle wrong. There we go. One thing to note while you are doing this, if you for some reason manage to break the multitude of things you can break here, you can always send it to me. I have experience fixing anything you are reasonably able to break while doing this. It's all good. So just chill vibes. Most of the repairs are fine. Not the worst. It's alright. There we go. And there is 4 screws, and then 1 more in the middle, and we're done here. There we go. Okay, cool. Next part here. I'm gonna grab this sort of like a bit of like, I don't know, funny little triangle thingamajiggy right here. And then I'm gonna just start prying along. I like to start along the edges right about here where the band connects to the back. And the way this battery is gonna disconnect off is that it's this like thicker part is gonna kind of pop off this way. It's not this tiny top plate that's coming off. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's gonna make a lot of sounds. It's gonna make a lot of sounds like it's breaking, but it's fine. You're not really at too much of a risk for breaking anything scary in here. Yeah, kind of gotta give it a good manhandling, if you will. Ah, there we go. It's like cracking an egg. Oh, God. There we go. And it's out. Okay. Very good. All right, cool. Now we have access to our battery almost. We have 2 more screws we're gonna do. These are also all the exact same size. So there's gonna be one on the edge right here, and then another one on the edge over here. It's connected through, there's a little wire guide that connects our headset to our battery. We're gonna be very gentle later on, and we're gonna remove this. And it is very, very important we put this back in correctly when we're done. But I'll go over that when we get to the battery. There's 1 screw. And grab another. There's 1. Okay. And then now, this should just pop out. If I just hook a bit right through here. There we go. All right. And then you kind of see our cables on our wire guide, so I'm just going to pull it out. It's going to feel a bit wrong, and that's okay. There we go. Okay. All good. All right. Now that we are at our back of our battery, fun little fact about the Quest Pro battery. See these little conductive pads on the back of the battery right here? It corresponds with, on the back of our little case thing right here, more pads. And if, for whatever reason, your batteries get nice and spicy and puffy, it'll make contact with these and it'll cut power to them, which is kind of cool. Makes me wonder why it's not on more things. It sounds pretty like a nice little safety measure. But, you know, that's how tech is. All right, there's going to be a little sticker right over here, and then there's going to be a battery clip. I would highly recommend you keep this sticker because I don't trust this battery clip 100% to keep the cable plugged in. So I'm kind of just going to lift under this with my... Normally you'd want to use tweezers, but I honestly couldn't find mine. So I'm just going to be a bit gentle with this. I'm just going to slowly lift this sticker, and we're going to head it off to somewhere else. Here, I might use this a bit. There we go. Oh, you don't have to use gloves for this. It's just a neat thing. I like to use gloves for this. There we go. I got my sticker. I'm just gonna stick this on the little camera tripod for later. I'm gonna grab our little battery clip right here. I'm gonna pull it out. Worst case scenario, you could do like what I did when I first did this. I just hot glued it back in. It's a bit ugly, but it's fine. All right, so for taking this out, it's also gonna feel really wrong. We're gonna put some even pressure on this. I'm gonna hold it like this and kind of rest my thumb on it. And I'm kind of just gonna like make sure the wires are staying as straight as they can and not just yanking up. And I'm kind of just gonna shimmy it out of there. And it should just come out like that. And there we go. That is our battery. It also might just come out like this while you're working on it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. You just stick it back in. Just like so. Sometimes you gotta jostle it a bit. There you go. It's back in. So we're gonna stick this on the side. We're gonna grab our battery clip and we're gonna stick that on the side as well. And now we are ready to go to the front. All right, cool. Normally there would be like a rubber gasket on this one, but it looks like for this one that was sent in, there is no rubber gasket. But normally you'll kind of peel it back and you'll see right here there's going to be another tamper-proof sticker, and then there's going to be 2 other screws. So we're going to undo the little tamper-proof sticker here with what kind of whatever you feel like. Well, it looks like that just came out. Gonna stick that right there. Okay. And then now we're gonna have 3 screws. So this is where it comes into play, where there's one screw that's different than all the others. This is specifically the screw right here in the middle. It's slightly longer than the other ones and usually is marked in a little bit of blue tack at the end. But yeah, it's non-magnetic as well, so you kind of, after you unscrew, you kind of have to just jostle it out of the headset. It's a bit funky. And then these 2 on the side are the same size as all our other ones, so we're just, and they're also magnetic, so it's fine. Let me start with that. Oh, looks like someone was in here before me. Oh no, never mind. Just gonna undo that. There's one of our screws. Then go back into the left one. And now go to that middle one. Apologies for the background noise if you hear any. All right, now it's out. I can just tilt it out. And there it is. I'm gonna just stick it somewhere safe over here. All right. Now, okay, cool. Now we can get to the next part here, where we're gonna be basically unclipping this like magnetic spot where your little light blockers would go normally. So to do this, I like to start, one thing to keep in mind while you're doing this is that on the edge right here is like a sort of, it's like hooking down into it. So it's like you can't just start prying on the corner right here or else it's just not gonna come out. I usually like to start on this like second little notch right here. Yours will probably look different if you still have your gasket on. It'll be more of a matte look to it. But we're gonna start a little bit on more on this side gasket here. Right where this notch is, I'm kind of just gonna inch into it. To basically, and it should just, yeah. There you go. Oh, mind you, this is also gonna make a lot of noises. They're not gonna be very pleasant. Oh, there we go. All right, and then to get this part out, I'm kind of gonna push down on it and then I'm gonna pull this way. So now that I have my finger under here, I'm pulling this, and there you go, it came out. And we're gonna do the same on the other side. Kind of getting under that one side spot by the little notch. Ooh. This is a bit harder. I haven't done one of these without the gasket in a while. It's a bit slippery. This should be a bit easier on you if you still have your matte little rubber gasket thing in here. You might chew it up a bit, but it's fine. There we go. I'm under there. Boom. And then same thing. I'm gonna push down on it and I'm gonna pull. And it's out. All right, cool. And now we have these things loose, and then you kind of just like, a little unclip. You kind of just gotta push it a bit. There we go. Boom. And there is our front magnetic playout. Woo! It's a little bit dirty in here, so I'm probably gonna brush it up a bit, but before we put it back in. But so far, all good. All right. Now that we have access to all this, we are going to undo 4 more screws. To make this a bit easier on us, we're gonna kind of squish in the IPD sliders a bit right here. And we're gonna have the 4 screws that we're looking for right here. Their first ones are pretty easy to spot. There's 1 screw right here on the right side and 1 on the left, right by this little metal plate. And then right here, kind of see our screw. And then the next ones are a bit harder to see. What I like to tell people is that you see the little QR code thingamajiggy right here. You kind of look at the corner of it and you peel under that a bit, and then you see there's like a little screw hole way down in there. It's a bit hard to see. But there will be a similar screw hole on the other side, but there won't be a QR code. All right. Just gonna undo this. And these are also the exact same size screws as before. We already went past the 1 screw. All the screws from now on will all be the same size. Butterfingers. Here we go. Also, preferably you won't be doing this on the floor. Please do a hard surface or a desk or something. You might get silicone on your carpet. All right, cool. Let's get those other screws now. Push in the lenses. Kind of use my screwdriver to push this back. And I see the hole right there, right on the corner. And I'm just going to unscrew this. Slipped out of there. There we go. And boom, got it. Here's one of our screws. And then I'm gonna go grab another one right here. There it is. Slot in the screwdriver, and now we just go at it. And lift it up. Boom. All right, cool. That's all the screws we need. All right, this next part, it's gonna be a little scary, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's gonna be a lot of scary sounds, and there's gonna be a lot of, it's gonna be real scary, but it's okay, we got this. So, main things to look out for is what I like to sort of call the mustache ribbon. It's like some like funky cable that's going off the side right along here. So when we're prying, we don't want to go too deep and accidentally rip through that cable. There's also another ribbon cable right here-ish that it is possible to hook onto. It's a bit hard, but I have seen it happen before. And then we're gonna have another like small ribbon-ish cable right up top right here that we need to watch out for. And then while we're prying, we're kind of going to want to do this as evenly as possible. And we want to be very mindful that the front plate is not like catching on the back of the camera. Like usually around right here, you can see it catch. And then, because if you keep ripping, you're going to snap on your front cameras, which is not very fun. But this is probably, this takes quite a bit of manhandling. So we'll start here. Move this out of the way. All right. The noises never get easier despite how many of these I do. Okay. And oh, one thing to also mention is that we are not prying at the front glass here. We're prying at the vents. The vents are connected to the front plate, so you're kind of just lifting under them to get it out of here. All right. Okay. Ugh. Never easier. It's always disgusting sounding. There we go. And it might pop back in, but it's all right. You kind of just gotta, oh God. You kind of just gotta keep going at it. Oh. Okay. Come on, just get out, just get out. There we go, okay. And now I'm gonna check that I'm not, I'm catching under the right camera here. So I'm kind of going with my pry tool and I'm just gonna kind of push it out of the way. Ugh. I'm kind of just gonna push the camera itself down while I keep prying here. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're not caught on any of the cameras. And now, just kind of gotta keep going at it. There we go. There's one clip. Going to the other side. Oh, and she's off. Oh. And then quick visual inspection, we always do. We go down. We go up top here. Looks all good to me. We go to here to our side ribbon cables. Looks all good as well. Same on this side. All good. And then we go down to the little mustache cable. It's right on the bottom side here. Also looks good. And same on this side. You might notice there's going to be like a little bit of a adhesive sort of dealio around the cameras. You can kind of flatten it out with your tool if you really want. And take it off in general. It's kind of like, I don't know, I think it's just to keep dust out of there. But yeah, looks like we are in. One good indicator to tell kind of how used your Quest Pro is that after you open it, it kind of depends on how dirty it is on the inside here. Right here, it looks like we definitely have a lot of, can't tell, maybe dead skin, something like that, around our intake ports right here on the bottom. And then there's a bit of smudging, a lot of smudging I see on the inside around here, so it's probably, it's been used a bit. But looks like it should be fine. I'm gonna check real quick with my magnifying glass here and my headlamp, and I'm gonna see if there's any noticeable corrosion. When we look for corrosion on these, it's gonna be showed up as some green little goosh and shmoo. But if there's none there, then we're all good. Just need to clean this up a bit. All right, let's see. And specifically, I'm looking right here at the ones at the edge right here. It's a triple cluster of IR LEDs. It's right by the little gold contacts, but to me, it looks like they are all good. Yep, looks like we got here in time. Perfect. Nice. Okay. I'm just gonna. Usually that's the only part that breaks, but it doesn't ever hurt to, you know, add some silicone to the other parts. All right. Looks like we are all good here. Nice. Cool. All right. Next, we're gonna grab our transparent silicone. Take it out of the package. This is the brand I just like to use. It was recommended to me and it hasn't done me wrong, so that's what I use. It's linked in the Discord server. And then let me grab a knife. Actually, where did I put a knife? There it is. All right. And with these, if you've never used one of these, it kind of just has a little spiky thing on the cap. Undo the cap. It's gonna be closed. Stab it with the other side of the cap. It's open. You go to this, screw this on. All right. Now that we have this all screwed on, you're gonna notice that the top part of your thing is probably sealed. So I'm just gonna grab my knife and I'm gonna cut it as just so there's just a little tiny hole, as tiny as we can get it. I'm getting caught. All right, here I'm just gonna, let's see here. I'm just gonna keep cutting it until there's just the tiniest hole we can use, just to make it so it's a little bit more precise while we're doing this. I have also seen people just like stick it in a syringe, the transparent silicone, and use that, which is also a very good idea. But this is just the rough and dirty way to do it. All right, so now we're just gonna basically kind of squish this in between the IR LEDs right here. And we're gonna wanna get the silicone all around that little board, the tiny one right here. So I'm just gonna, this might be a bit funky out of camera, but we'll see. There we go. I'm just going to coat all the way around that board. Might be holding this a bit funky. I'm going to wipe it smooth. There we go. All right, and that's our left board coated right here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Don't worry about that pop, that's just silicone. All right, and wipe it smooth. It's just for neat sake. You don't have to make it look nice. It's all right, as long as it's covered. There we go. And then wipe it again. Double checking that we have no gaps in the end of it. It looks like we don't. Cool. And then just as a little extra precautionary measure, I'm also going to just put some silicone over it on the edge right here, in this little crevice right here at the other IR LED, just in case. I've never seen any dye with this one, but it doesn't hurt to try. It doesn't hurt to be a little safer while we're in here already. Wipe that down smooth. And there we go. And then we're going to go on to the other side. And then just for the hell of it, I'm just going to coat the back of the camera board as well. We can also go through and we're going to sweat proof the eyebrow LEDs. Again, I've never seen any dye through there, but you know, never hurts to try. And then just wiping all that smooth. All right, now we're all done. You're all gooped up. I did more than you probably should, but that's fine. I've seen people do more. That's all there. All right, we're all good. Cool. Now, I'm just going to grab our front pad and make sure my hand's a bit clean. Wait, actually, before we put on our front pad here, you don't have to do this, but again, something I just like to do, especially when doing this for other people. I'm just going to clean up this front plate. I'm going to make sure there's no smudges inside of right here on the inside. Because that would be annoying. If you only had smudges on the inside to worry about. Down the outside? Yes, it is. I'm using a microfiber cloth here, just used on my cars and stuff. But yeah, a glass is like microfiber will work well as well, especially for getting off fingerprints. Another shmoo. I have thought a couple times about doing a sort of clear face plate mod. Thought that'd be a little bit silly, but I haven't really had to bother doing it if I'm being honest. It'd be fun though. Looks fun at least. Because it is very pretty in here. Okay. It's all good. Alright, cool. Now I'm just gonna snap this back on. Just for snapping this back on, it's kind of just like, it'll kind of just fit in there. Like, I just kind of just go like, boop. There you go. You're just gonna make sure it fully snaps back into all of its little doohickeys and doodads and schmoodads. There you go. It's all back together. Cool. You, at this point, you know, you don't technically have to put back in the screws. If you're scared at this point, if you've shat yourself, I did. I remember when I first did this. You don't have to put back in the screws. The clips pretty strong, but we're gonna put back the screws. Yeah, I'm just gonna start with those two ones. The one at the metal plate and then the one under the little eye gasket that we looked at earlier. I'm just gonna stick those back in. Slipped right there. One thing I highly recommend is a little snacky break if you're doing this for your first time. Snacking out is pretty good. Calming the nerves. Just don't get any crumbs in your headset though. I am quite the partaker in goldfish. Okay. All right, there's our first 2 screws. And then I'm gonna grab another screw right here. And we're gonna do the ones that's kind of under here. Oh, popped it out. There we go. And then one more here for under the guys. All right, cool. All right, and then I'm gonna push these back out and we're gonna sweat proof the eyebrow LEDs. So the way the eyebrow LEDs are kind of let in, they're kind of like staggered a bit. And there's just an exposed camera sensor right here. No lens, no nothing. Yeah, we don't do that in Meta. So the way we're gonna kind of start with this is that I kind of just start with the bottom right here, kind of lift it up like this. It's gonna make some popping sounds, and I'll go loose. I grab my pry tool, usually the little hook one, and I kind of just snake it around here until I can lift that up. There you go, and there it comes out. Nice. There's a little like rubber grommet around that eyebrow camera. You're gonna see like a little bit of like an extra triangle coming out from it on the top right side. So if that thing happens to come out while you take this off, then that's kind of just how you stick it back on. Right. And then now I'm gonna grab my silicone and I'm just gonna dab it over these 3 IR LEDs and not put it over the camera. Please do not put silicone over your camera. All right, and there you go. And I'm just gonna clip this back in. And there we go. Oh, good. Cool. Now, we're just gonna, you might have noticed when you did this, there's like these little peg holes where the silicone goes in. You kind of just gotta like lift it up with your pry tool and kind of just like stick it back in its little slot there. It can be a bit hard to do. Usually it's a bit easier with tweezers. There you go, there's one. And then, oh, there is 2. All right, nice, cool. Now we are free to put back in our little magnetic plate here. So when doing this, if you don't do it evenly, it's gonna like sort of come out with like a popped out look. So you're gonna want to start by hooking in these edges first and then kind of just working from there. And kind of push to like the side-ish after you hook them in to clip them in. There we go. Then pull on that. Make sure I get it under there. Push that in. There you go. And then now I can just work all the way to the bottom. Come on. There we go. There we go. I do admit, it is throwing me off a little bit not having the little rubber thingamajiggy here. There you go. Was that actually in? No, it's not. Okay. There we go. All right, that's all the way in. All right, cool. Now we can add back our screws. The 3 that we removed a bit earlier. Reminder that the left and right one are the same uniform screws that we've been using for the rest of the headset. And the middle one is that one we put aside earlier and hopefully didn't lose. Not crazy if you lose it though. But again, you can get away with not adding back all these screws in the front, but you definitely do need them for the battery. There we go. We're gonna go back to my little screw right here that I grabbed. There we go. And that's back in. Nice. Cool. Swanky even. Alright, time to start putting it back together. On the battery side, we're gonna go grab our battery here. We are going to grab our little back housing here. Alright, so we're gonna start by doing a little grab on our battery. And then we're going to want to make sure the red wires are on the right side of when we're plugging this back in, and the black wires are on the left side. So I usually use my fingernail a bit when I slide this back in and make sure it's fully connected. Having a wee bit of a struggle. This is easier, I swear. There we go. Okay, we're back in. Nice. And then we're going to grab our battery clip from earlier. It's going to hook back onto there. Then grab our sticker. We're just going to stick that over the clip. There we go. And now we're going to slide it back in our little top cover. Remember that our battery channel should be on the right side. I'm just going to put that on top. Kind of going to pop in. Kind of got to wiggle it in just a little bit, just a little bit. And we're going to line up those screws. I'm going to grab another screw from our little pile that we've been accumulating. There's one screw in. And then there's the one with our second screw. So grab another one from the pile. Very cool. Once this is screwed on, we're going to do a little sanity check to make sure everything's all right. Sometimes when you try to do this first power on test, it's going to like not turn on. It's going to scare the shit out of you, but you kind of just got to jump start it. So let's see here. Oh, okay. If we see a quick flashing red light, that's a good sign. And look at that. She's on. All good. And we'll soon hear the doo-doo-doo-doo, if you will. It usually does the doo-doo-doo-doo. Ah, there she is. All right, cool. And then now, if I will peer over, yep, she's turned on. Nice. So I'm just going to turn this off. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Nice. Cool. Now, so back to our battery. Let me rotate back this to the right side. So we're going to want to just slowly push this back into its wire guide. And then this right here is the most important part on the corner right here. So when it loops back around, there's like a little tab you can tuck it underneath. And we need to tuck it underneath, because if we do not tuck it underneath here, we're gonna screw into it when we're putting back the battery back together, and it's gonna be real scary. And then it's gonna kill your battery, and it's gonna be really fun. Or you might partially just damage your cable, and then your face tracking will start tweaking. It's a bit of an experience, but it's all right. We're just gonna smush back in the battery cable. There we go. And then you kind of just fit it into its little grommet, and it's all good. Nice. Now we can just clip this back on with the back part. And we're just double checking as we're going through to make sure that battery cable is in its guide, because we do not want to screw through it. Looks like it is. It's just going to clip back on. All yummy like. There we go. Like uncracking an egg. Ugh. Okay. There you go. Cool. And then now we have to do the last 5 screws. Do a screw count. If you have more than 5 screws, then start panicking. I'm kidding. No, don't panic. Go back to this middle screw. Just gonna crank that one in. Oops. And then one more screw for our pile. Normally, if this is your first time, I'd set a time around 2 hours. I probably should have mentioned this early in the video now I think about it. Oopsie. There we go. Then I'm just gonna attach this back on like this. And then I'm just gonna screw in those reciprocating screws, and we're all done here. Ain't that classy? You go, champ. You probably made it this far. And if you didn't, well, I'm sorry for your loss. You're gonna be screwing for a while again. My little gamer fingers. Oh no. I will make a better tutorial at some point soon, TM. This already took way too long to do for some reason. But, hey, look at me go. And there we go. And a quick test. And we're going to turn it on again just to see in case we screwed into the battery. We got that quick red flash. And she starts up. All good. All right, hopefully you guys are in the same spot and you didn't destroy your Quest Pro. If you did, you can scream to me in DMs. And I will link, I guess, everything in the description. The Discord server, where if you feel like you don't think you can do this process, I'm glad to do this for you. It will be $80 USD plus shipping. Typically, if you live in the US, it will be in a total of around $60 max with shipping. It's usually a bit cheaper of like there and back, but it's always dependent. But yeah, I think that is it. I'm going to turn this off and All right. Well, hopefully I'll maybe make more videos on this channel. We'll see.